Namaskar. Welcome to another edition of Navimash podcast. So we are meeting after I think 2 weeks of hiatus, where I was not doing well health wise, so could not do any podcast. But we are ready to go, and we to start our we're going to restart our reading sessions. So today we're going to read this specific very important book called Bengal's Hindu Holocaust by Sachi Dastidar. Uh, why we are reading this book? Actually, it's and do let me know if the audio is okay or not. Audio looks okay, but anyway, we will see. Yeah, do let me know if the audio is fine. You can hear me clearly. So today we are going to read this book. But why this book? Why we are reading this book now? So let me give a bit of a preview why I chose this book. Uh, in general, correct. So whenever we talk about partition, we generally talk about the partition which happened in the erstwhile West West Punjab and West Punjab and East Punjab. So the Punjab. So in all our Bollywood movies, in all our general memory, we remember the partition of Punjab as a bloody affair. But more people actually died and displaced in the partition in 1947 in the eastern side of the Indian border, that is Bangladesh. Previously, it was East Pakistan and West Bengal. Now it became Bangladesh and West Bengal. Yeah, yeah, Abhay, I am doing well. Thank you. So that's what. So, and more people actually died and displaced in the eastern side of the Indian border. And there's not a lot of literature. Maybe it is there, but it's in Bengali. So people of India do not know about the pain, the suffering, which the primarily the Hindus of Bengal went through during the partition of 1947, 1971, and if you go a little bit previous as well, so now 1935 onwards, in 1946 you also had a lot of people coming into the erstwhile United Bengal. So this documentation is not there. Okay. It is not there in the public view. So that's why this English book called Bengal's Hindu Holocaust, written by an author, Mr. Sachi Dastidar. He is the alumnus of Bengal Engineering College, Shibpur, a well-known person. So there's also his podcast is there where he has talked about it. But I thought let's read this book, a few chapters which are important so that we can tell the people of India who may not be familiar with the Bengali language that what had happened in the partition era and how Hindus were persecuted. They were in Bengali we call Gonohotta, which happened in 47, 46, 71. And let's spread the message that the forgotten partition of 1947 and 71 in West Bengal. So we're going to read this book, and we're also going to invite the channel members to come and talk to us in after a little while. So I'm going to post a link right now. Just hold on. I'm going to post a link right away. So the channel members are able to join the discussion. Give me a sec. I'm going to put this right away. In the meantime, do let me know how things are at your end, and we have also Bengal elections coming up, so we're going to have a podcast on Bengal elections in English and Bengali. We're going to cover a bit of that as well. So I am just going to post the link. So, done. So for channel members, the link is available. You can join us in little while when I finish the reading of the book, and then also we can also comment and share your thoughts. So first let's see which chapter we're going to read today. But I will recommend everybody to buy this book. I'll post a link right away after the reading session is over. Hmm. Interesting. So I'm going to read a chapter which is very interesting. Let me, if I can get this chapter right. Let me see if I have the chapter. Yes. 27. Okay, now I think I got it. And this land of peaceful cohabitation to land of destruction. Yeah. So when you read this specific chapter, it is I thought this is important in the current scenario. The chapter's name is From Land of Peaceful Cohabitation to the Land of Destruction and Genocide. So let's start reading this. This is chapter one. So this so let me actually show the chapter as well too. So this is how it looks like. You can see this is how it looks like. So we're going to read the last part of the first chapter, which I thought was quite interesting and quite relevant for our reading session. From the land of peaceful cohabitation to the land of destruction and genocide. The region went through the the region went through the precipitous partition in 1947, becoming parts of two sovereign nations, Republic of India and Islamic Republic of Pakistan, with devastating consequences for the original Hindu Buddhist inhabitants of Bangladesh. With the rise of anti India, anti Hindu, and pro Wahhabi, anti native Islamism, some Bengali Muslims came to believe that they are migrants from North India. Very interesting part that we see now the narrative that the Bengali as a language, as a culture, is something which is similar, and their faiths are not really as important. The language and culture is important, but when we read here, with the rise of anti-India, anti-Hindu, pro-Wahhabi, anti-native Islamism, some Bengali Muslims came to believe that they are migrants from North India, Afghanistan, Persia, Arabia. So the Bengali Muslims who now profess that they are the true Bengali in terms of protecting the language and the heritage and the culture, they believe, some Bengali Muslims came to believe that they are the Bengali Muslims who speak Bengali, they are the migrants from North India, Afghanistan, Persia, Arabia, Turkey, and Central Asia, and not the sons of the soil like Hindus. Thus, socio-economic political change continues to take place in Bangladesh, frequently at the cost of indigenous minority Hindus, one of the lessons of this book. Prior to 1905 partition, the residents of Bengal were relatively at peace among themselves. There were occasional strains between Muslims and Hindus, zamindars, landlords, and peasants. So, interesting part. So, when we say Muslims and Hindus, zamindars were primarily Hindus, and the peasants were primarily Muslims. Among various strands with Hinduism and Islam, between natives and migrants, as well as among the slaves. But that was nothing compared to what the natives had in store for the future. Once the religious communalism raised its ugly head, Bengal started to become a place of intolerance. By the time East Pakistan came into being in 1947, anti Hindu intolerance had taken a institutionalized form. In two brief spells from 1950s when the United Front government came to power and after Bangladesh became independent in 1971, this region saw an attempt to give way to more intolerant society. However, they proved to be short-lived experiments. The country again turning towards genocide, pogroms, ethnic cleansing, and intolerance. In 1971, when the East Pakistan became an independent Bangladesh after a violent liberation war, 3 million Bengalis were killed and about 250,000 women, girls were violated, sexually assaulted. Overwhelming majority. So the numbers are very important. That's why we need to read the book to actually go deeper into the understanding of the stats. So the stats say that 250,000 women and girls were sexually violated. Overwhelmingly, majority, 90 to 95% of them were Hindu by the Army of Islamic Republic of Pakistan. So when the data is quoted that in Bengal, the East Pakistan, 250,000 women and girls were sexually violated, they forget to mention that of these numbers, the overwhelming majority, 95% were Hindu women, not Muslim women. That data is hidden from us. So we have to know who were the sufferers of this violent streak which happened. By the Army of Islamic Republic of Pakistan and by her Bengali, Urdu speaking Islamist allies. So, who are these Urdu? By her Bengali and Urdu speaking Islamist allies. The Bengali speaking Islamist allies were the Razakars, and the Urdu speaking Islamists were the Bihari Muslims who had migrated in 1947 when Pakistan was being created. This will be covered later in detail, although violation of women is not the focus of this book. After the 1947 partition, Bengalis were one of the major groups to be divided almost equally between Hindus and Muslims. Yet, many Bengalis continue to believe that they are many there are many special features that bind them together more than any other divided groups. We have to think that the partition took place. So the East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, was primarily a Muslim majority region, and West Bengal, just in 1947, was primarily a Hindu majority region. Now, there's a dichotomy in the statement. When the statement is made that many Bengalis continue to believe that there are many special features that bind them together. Who? The Bengali speaking Muslims and Bengali speaking Hindus, more than any other divided groups. The language being the most important, followed by music, folklore, tradition, custom, and name. Even some of the same rituals and religious practices are observed by Muslims, Hindus, Christians, and Buddhists. Of all the Muslim communities in the Indian subcontinent, it was the Bengali Muslims who showed uncompromising pride in their linguistic identity. Now, this statement, who Bengali Muslims who showed uncompromising pride in their linguistic identity, how true, how correct the statement is, we're going to find out in our next session where we will be reading the book, the Bengali book, Ekusher Myth, Joy Banglar Mitha, where this set statement is being researched, dissected, analyzed by the author Mr. Kaushik Gangopadhyay of the IAM Kozhikode. Okay, no, no, no. I am not any BJP supporter. I am here to tell the story of Hindus, the genocide of Hindus across the across India and outside India. Okay, I do not have any affiliation with any political party. Yeah, If somebody does something good thing, I'm going to say good about it. But I don't have any political affiliations. For me, dharma and Hindus are the only thing I care about, not any politics. Who showed uncompromising pride in their linguistic identity while maintaining their religious identity. Unlike many other native Muslim groups residing in the diverse regions of India, the Bengali Muslims have resisted accepting Urdu as their mother tongue, a relatively new North Indian Muslim language, as their official language. Now, this is also not uh, correct in the current context, because now we see the Urduization of Bengali language is happening quite rapidly, especially in the Bangladesh region. A relatively new North Indian language as the official language, as well as use of Arabic script and the large scale use of Arabic and Persian words in Bengali. After the separation of Muslim majority East Bengal from India, the West Pakistan based Punjabi Urdu elites under President General Ayub Khan initiated a change of Bengali Assamese or Eastern script to Arabize Urdu script. That attempt failed because of universal opposition of East Bengal Muslims and non-Muslims. Bengali Muslims language-based national identity existed long before the rise of religion-based nationalism. It was not a tragedy, it was a catastrophe. Tragedy is a very weak word to describe it, especially for the Muslims, especially for the Hindus who were left behind in West and East Pakistan, which ultimately led to the independence of Bangladesh as a Bengali nation. If poet Kazi Nazrul Islam championed the post 1905 anti partition Bengali nationalism of Bengali Muslims, then it was Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, known affectionately as Bangabandhu, friend of Bengal, the founding fathers of Bangladesh, who finally completed the homecoming journey of Bengali Muslims started by Nazrul Islam. But both Nazrul Islam and Mujibur Rahman are vilified by intolerant Islamists. Thank you. Welcome. So you understand English? Once the province of Bengal was partitioned in 1947 into two hard to cross borders, paralleling the 1905 partition boundaries, a different socio-economic, cultural. Just hold on. Once the province of Bengal was partitioned in 1947 into two hard to cross borders, paralleling 1905 partition, bordering a different socio-economic cultural dynamics took hold in East Bengal, East Pakistan, Bangladesh, and West Bengal. The grave rise to intolerant Islamism and social fanatism towards East Bengal's indigenous Hindu population, religion of the ancestors of Muslims. The state would enact laws that would either inflict apartheid like, now it is very important these words, Bengal's indigenous Hindu population, religion of the ancestors of Muslims, the state of Bangladesh or East Pakistan, would enact laws that would either inflict apartheid like discrimination or treat them with extreme disdain with outright efforts of extermination and ethnic cleansing. That is Hindus, the Bengali Hindus of Bangladesh. Ironically, no Indian, progressive or conservative, communist or Congress party activists, Hindu or Muslims, Bangladeshi refugees or native born would ever protest these atrocities and immoral actions. becoming perpetrators themselves. Thrust, thrust of this book is to evaluate and analyze some of these changes. Additionally, Northeast and East India have been affected demographically, mainly because of the victimized hapless Bengali Hindu refugees migration and large Bengali Muslim settlement movement. Initially, these suffering refugees were welcomed with open arms by a sympathetic population. Immediately after 1947 partition, Hindu refugees significantly outnumbered Muslim migrants, especially in West Bengal and Tripura states. That changed in many areas after Bangladesh independence in 1971. The author's visit to Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Tripura, North Bengal, Arunachal, Nagaland, Mizoram, Bihar, Orissa, and Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and to the Hindu refugee settlements areas of the dense Dandakaranya forest of central India provided a better grasp of the problem. West Bengal's problems multiplied after 1947 partition with the massive influx of Hindu refugees that has no parallel in the modern world history. Now, it's very important, this data point. It says that West Bengal's problems multiplied after 1947 partition with a massive influx of Hindu refugees that has no parallel in the modern world history, affecting very aspect of social life. When the partition of Punjab, there was a population exchange happened. So you had the Muslim population of Punjab being migrated to West Punjab, now Pakistani Punjab, and Hindus of West Punjab were migrated to the East Punjab or the Indian side of Punjab. The same thing did not happen for the partition of Bengal. What happened was that the Hindu refugees, the Hindu Bengalis migrated from East Pakistan to West Bengal, but unfortunately, the Muslims of West Bengal remained in West Bengal. So that is a very important part. What it happened? It caused that the population has doubled of West Bengal. So West Bengal is a not a very big state. So the economy suffered, the sociology suffered a lot. Thank you. Moreover, the state was initially divided into two parts in north and south, with no contiguous land connection except through neighboring Indian state of Bihar. There was severe dislocation of the industrial base of Calcutta owing to the loss of East Bengal Bangladesh's jute growing area for the jute mills of Calcutta. While most of the jute mills were located in and around the Bengal's capital city of Calcutta, most of the jute growing areas were located in the rural districts of East Bengal, Bangladesh. East Bengal too suffered economically as her Indian jute market, the principal economic export of the region, now became foreign land, with whom relation was determined by faraway Pakistan capital of Karachi and later Islamabad, and the Indian capital of Delhi, also far away in the different cultural nations. Additionally, as the population got divided into two hostile nations through Hindu Muslim killings hurtled towards self destruction, hardly any leadership was left to represent Bengali interest of either nations. Bengali Muslim leaders like Mr. Fazlul Haq and Mr. H.S. Sohrawardi, although proponents of creation of Islamic Pakistan. Now, this data is also important. Didi is saying something. Didi is saying in Punjab, the Punjabi supremacist mindset on both sides help a lot of population exchange. Yes, Didi, actually, that's a very important data point. So, a lot of problems that we see in West Bengal today, the root of this problem goes back to lack or no population exchange happening. So it was a one-way street. The Hindus, refugees of East Pakistan, came to West Bengal, but the other way did not happen. And that put a lot of strain on the economy, on the social aspect of their lives. Although proponents of creation of Islamic Pakistan in the early 1940s as homeland of Indian Muslims changed their opinion right before 1947 partition. They were discredited by the West Pakistan Urdu Punjabi speaking Muslim leaders as soft on Hindus and on Hindu West Bengal, and thus on Hindu India. Even 20 years after the creation of Pakistan, Mr. Sohrawardi, the activist in Muslim separation, claiming Muslims and non Muslims in India belong to two separate races, maintained a residence in Park Circus neighborhood in Calcutta in Hindu majority India, while confiscating homes of indigenous Hindus in Pakistan. Mr. Sohrawardi was also discredited many Hindus who, as the premier of pre-partition United Bengal province, engineered a ghastly. So this is very important. 1946, 16th August, the Direct Action Day, which happened. So in that time, Sohrawardi was the prime minister of Bengal, and what he had did engineered a ghastly Muslim Hindu rioting in Calcutta on August 16, 1946, and later for an anti Hindu pogrom in eastern Noakhali district in October 1946 in support of creation of Islamic Pakistan and partition of India. The Calcutta riot was in response to his Muslim League Party's Direct Action Day call on August 16, 1946, exactly 1 year before India's partition on August 15, 1947, to create an atmosphere of mistrust among Muslims and non-Muslims in favor of partition of India and to impress his colonial masters. Among the Hindu leadership, Mr. Sarod Bose, a Hindu of Congress party, flirted with Mr. Sohrawardi for a separate yet united Bengal nation outside India. Partitioning India linguistically in the East while accepting religious partition in the West. But most Bengali Hindus, Brahmos, and some pan India Muslims who fought for the independence of India for almost a century could not lend any support to that idea. Bengal fought for India's independence, Mother India's independence, not for a region. Now, this is very important, this statement. Yeah. So, century could not lend her support. Bengal fought for India's independence, Mother India independence, not for a region. Mr. Kiran Shankar Roy, a Congress leader belonging to Hindu community of East Bengal, from where he was elected to the Bengal legislature, could not provide any leadership to the oppressed Hindu masses of East Bengal, who elected him under British communal election process as he lived in the safety of the Hindu Calcutta away from marauding Hindu killers of East Bengal, Pakistan. A street in Calcutta Business Center next to the state secretariat is named after Kiran Shankar. This is also true for the left as the leader of the communist. This is also true Communist Party Marxist, Mr. Jyoti Basu, England educated, privileged caste native of East Bengal, elected to the Bengal legislature, also lived in the safety of Calcutta, as did practically all the leaders of the left and the Congress Party, who were champions of Muslim Hindu cohabitation. Mr. Jyoti Basu would rule West Bengal with an iron fist for the quarter of century beginning in 1977. Yet, there is no record of him opposing anti Hindu. Now, interesting. Mr. Jyoti Basu, the communists, okay, what they did. Mr. Jyoti Basu would rule West Bengal with an iron fist for the quarter century, beginning in 1977. Yet there is no record of him opposing anti-Hindu genocide and ethnic cleansing in his homeland, that is East Pakistan and later Bangladesh. After partition, West Bengal's first head of the state government, Chief Minister Mr. Prafullo Kumar Ghosh, came from the East Pakistan. among the Hindu and Muslim leadership of Bengal. One exception to this rule is and was Dr. Shama Prasad Mukherjee. At the time of Bengal India partition of 1947, Dr. Mukherjee was a leader of the Hindu Mahasabha party, a crusader against anti Hindu pogroms, a true pan Indian patriot and nationalist, an honest politician, and a talented academician. Shaya Prasad, as he is affectionately called, was the youngest vice chancellor president of the prestigious Calcutta University and was a leader of the first and only Hindu Muslim unity government in colonial Bengal under the leadership of Premier A.K. Fazlul Haq. Mr. Haq sought out Shama Prasad Mukherjee among Hindu politicians for the unity government. The ministry was popularly known as Shama Haq Ministry. However, Dr. Mukherjee was vilified by the Indian left, by some of the nationalist Congress activists, and by Islamic right as communal, that is anti-Muslim. Mukherjee was only seeking a space for Bengali Hindus on the eve of India's partition. At a time when Punjab was being partitioned between Muslim and Hindu Sikh Jain, as was Assam and the entire Indian nation, in 1950s, Dr. Mukherjee died in prison in Muslim majority Kashmir under suspicious conditions. Imprisoned by Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Kashmir's Mr. Sheikh Abdullah, Dr. Mukherjee had also served as a federal minister in the post partition all party Indian unity government in Delhi under the premiership of Jawaharlal Nehru. It is worth mentioning that all the elected Hindu leaders of pre partition Bengal legislature, including Hindu communist Mr. Jyoti Basu and Mr. Ratanlal Brahmo, other leftists, and all Congress party members voted for partition of Bengal into Hindu West Bengal and Muslim East, as did the Muslim legislators. Mr. Basu is a native of Dhaka in Bangladesh, while Mr. Brahman is a Nepali speaking Bengali citizen from Darjeeling Hill area. Mr. Basu chose not to live in his Muslim majority Pakistan Bangladesh homeland. Both separatist Muslim and communal Hindus, Congress, communist, left, nationalists found Mr. Mukherjee an easy scapegoat for their failures and to hide their own communalism, racism, on the face of mass killings of Hindus by Muslim League supporters of partition. Practically the entire elite Hindu Bengali leadership of East Pakistan, Communist, Congress, Socialist, Nationalist, oppressed, oppressed caste deserted their poor followers overnight for the safety of Hindu India. While preaching Hindu Muslim cohabitation and maligning Mukherjee for creating a space for them, following chapters provide the loss of population is estimated from the government provided census figures and an estimate of the casualties that could be verified by various published sources. Chapter 2. Yes. Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is Where Do My People Go? Quest for Bangladeshi Hindu minorities. As I travel through my homeland, I am often asked by poor villagers, Babu, Sir, Jethu, Uncle. It's a Bengali. Let me read the Bengali, then I will translate it. So the poor, as I travel through my homeland means now Bangladesh or East Pakistan, where the common people, the poor villagers, ask the author, Mr. Sachi Dastidar, Babu, Jethu, Uncle, Amago Lokera Jai Koi, where my people should go. Where do my people go? In trying to find an answer to their quest, I have come to an extremely painful realization, albeit politically incorrect. As discussed in previous chapter, the 1947 partition of India witnessed the partitioning of Bengal into East Bengal and West Bengal. East Bengal became East Pakistan in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan and West Bengal remained as a state of the secular Republic of India. Partition of India was accompanied by bloody pre and post partition massacre with loss of millions of Hindu Muslim Sikh lives, the displacement of millions more from their ancestral homeland, supervised by the colonial British administration. After a violent after a violent 1971 liberation war, East Pakistan became Bangladesh. That liberation involved a Muslim killing Muslim war and an Islamic and Pakistani genocide. Now, yes, absolutely correct. Supervised by the colonial British administration. After a violent 1971 liberation war, East Pakistan became Bangladesh. The liberation involved Muslim killing Muslim and, and an Islamic Pakistani genocide of Hindus. In 1971, genocide was happened of the Bengali Hindus of East Pakistan. That's very important data to remember. On the eve of 1947 partition, Bengal province and its capital, Calcutta, were governed by the Indian Muslim League Party, spearheading the racist Partition Muslim League Party, created by the British in 1905 in the city of Dhaka, located in eastern Bengal province, claimed that Muslims and non-Muslims belong to two different races. When people come and tell you today that the Bengali speaking Muslims and Bengali speaking Hindus are the same, look at this data. So, Muslim League Party, created by the British in 1905 in the city of Dhaka. Who created this? The Bengali speaking Muslims created this. That Muslims and non-Muslims belong to two different races. The party was established with funding from the British administration to check the growing calls for Indian independence led by Pan India National Congress Party. Indian Muslim League rule in Bengal province of colonial British India and the subsequent partition of India set the foundation of intolerant Islamic fundamentalism and anti-Hindu extremism in Bangladesh, East Pakistan. Just as it did in West Pakistan, it became Pakistan after Bangladesh independence. Essentially, two sides of the same coin. To promote partition of India into Muslim Pakistan and a non-Muslim India, and to sway public opinion in British India, Bengal's ruling Muslim League organized a Muslim Hindu in riot in the Hindu majority Calcutta starting on 14th August 1946, exactly to the day 1 year before partition in 1947. The British colonialists termed it as Great Calcutta Killings of 1946, as if there is greatness in killing. Then a ghastly anti-Hindu pogrom was organized beginning on 10th October 1946. The auspicious Hindu Lokhi, goddess of wealth puja worship day, in the distant Muslim majority Noakhali district in East Bengal, setting the stage for partition. At that time in 1947 partition, the departing British administration partitioned Bengal, Punjab, Assam provinces into Muslim and non-Muslim areas joining Pakistan and India, whereas the princely state of Kashmir was partitioned following a Pakistan-India war. Bangladesh government census shows a decline of her Hindu population from about one third means about 33%, one third in 1947 to mere 8% in 2001. A loss, a loss of about 50 million people, including millions of Hindus killed. This is for you, Bangladesh. This massive loss is still unknown to the world. This book tries to answer, where do my people go? Silently yet painfully, the question I am frequently asked in Bangladesh, especially by the remaining mostly poor, mostly traditionally oppressed caste Hindus and by some of their Muslim neighbors, that this topic is too serious, too painful, and extremely difficult for me to write about. It is doubly difficult because it is unknown to the world's concerned population and denied by the ruling Muslim elites of Bangladesh. Now, this is the line which is very important while we are reading this book. This topic is too serious, too painful, and extremely difficult for me to write about it. It is doubly difficult because it is unknown. The 50 million people who were displaced and many million of them were killed in Bangladesh and nobody knows about it is unknown to the world's concerned population and denied by the ruling Muslim elites of Bangladesh. The Bangladeshi Muslim elites, they do not acknowledge that millions of Hindus, women, men, children were butchered, killed, ethically cleansed. There are, of course, courageous exceptions among elite Muslims. Exceptions doesn't make the rule. There may be few good Muslims, elites, but they are irrelevant when the majority of them are Hindu hating bigots. It is also a taboo to discuss this massive loss and incredible suffering in India. Why Hindus of India, especially Bengalis, do not talk about this? 50 million is a lot of people. 50 million. There are countries whose population is 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. We're talking about 50 million people being displaced, killed, genocided. And nobody knows about it. Nobody talks about it. Especially in Hindu refugee ruled, especially so West Bengal. Now we're talking about West Bengal. Especially in Hindu refugee ruled. Now, what is Hindu refugee ruled West Bengal? So, in 1947, when population, the Hindus of East Pakistan migrated to West Bengal, and they became the primary politicians who were ruling West Bengal. So, Jyoti Basu, or previously other people as well, they were refugees who were now at the helm of political affairs of West Bengal. Hindu refugees ruled states of West Bengal and Tripura for very peculiar, inhuman political reasons. Now, very strong words by the author. Hindu refugee ruled states of West Bengal and Tripura for very peculiar, inhuman political reasons, as this loss is a politically incorrect topic in Islamist Bangladesh atheist means communists ruled West Bengal. I am using data mostly from Bangladesh and Indian government census and that of other published works. It has been taboo to discuss this loss of population, 50 million, in both pogrom, pogrom affecting Muslim majority Bangladesh and refugee sheltering Hindu majority West Bengal and India. It must be mentioned at the outset that in Bangladesh there have always been courageous Muslims who have risked their lives to protect their indigenous Hindu minorities. The traditional Sanatan Dharma faith of the forefathers of the Bangladeshi Muslims. Now, a lot of Muslims of Bangladesh think that they are ancestors of Muhammad Ghori or Arabs, or sometimes they think they have Turkish genes, so they change their forefathers quite frequently, as the Pakistanis do. Muslims who risk their lives to protect their indigenous Hindu minorities, the traditional Sanatan Dharma faith of the forefathers of Bangladeshi Muslims. Indeed, during many of the pogroms, there were Muslims who were murdered by Muslim killers for protecting their Hindu neighbors. In 1964, American Christian father Novak was killed in Bangladesh, then called East Pakistan, while protecting Hindus during one of the savage pogroms, Hazrat Bal, okay, Hazrat Bal Danga genocide. Some of those Muslim parentage individuals of the recent past who have led their moral support in protecting their Hindu neighbors include poet Shamsur Rahman, activist Malika Begum, Motiur Rahman, Jahanara Imam, and Azizul Haq. Poetess Sufia Kamal, scientist Dr. Mohsin Siddiqui, journalist Salim Samad and Abdul Ghaffar Chaudhry. Writers Dr. Taslima Nasreen, the famous activist, Rashid Haider, uh, Mafidul Haq, and Shariar Kabir. Authors Shafi Ahmed, Fazul Bari. These are the people, exceptions, who had actually played a very important role in protecting the Hindu minority in Bangladesh. Now, strange bedfellows. Okay, let me finish this one. So, a large number of activist scholars, journalists, editors of dailies and weeklies, however, these individuals rarely, now this is important, these people who have helped to protect the Hindu minority, but however, these individuals rarely influence the ruling elites and pro Islamist intolerant lobby. These exceptions are irrelevant of the outcome, which sees Hindus being maligned and genocided. Strange bedfellows. In the annals of world history, the situation with my extended family in my Bangladeshi homeland is undoubtedly unique and without any parallel. The forces that have acted against the survival of our families, Hindus, who have tried to hold on to their age old Sanatan Hindus, in italics, nature worshipping Hindu tradition, have done so only for their own self interest. The Muslim and the Hindus, secular nationalist Congress, anti religion, atheist, communist, and anti Hindu Islamist parties, the elites of the Islamic oppressor, and the enlightened of the Hindu oppressed, victim and and the victor, the intellectual and ignorant democrat and intolerant nationalist and imperialist, Bengal and non-Bengali, Bangladeshi and Indian, fidelist and scientist, devout and atheist, local and international, the rational and the criminal, Western media and Eastern journalists. Now, read this again. This is a very interesting part of it. Nature worshipping Hindu traditions have done so only for their own self interest. The Muslims, the Hindus, secular nationalists, Congress, anti religion, atheist, communists, anti Hindu Islamist parties, the elites of the Islamic oppressor and the enlightened of the Hindu oppressed, victim and victor, the intellectual and ignorant democrat and intolerant nationalist and imperialist, Bengali and non-Bengali, Bangladeshi, Indian, fatalist, scientist, devout and atheist, local and international, the rational and the criminal, Western media and Eastern journalism, the unenlightened sectarian of the Hindu psyche. Okay, this is interesting. The unenlightened sectarianism of the Hindu psyche to the pan-Arabism of the Islamic mind. Now, let's decode this statement. The unenlightened sectarianism of Hindu psyche. So maybe it's about caste divide, class divide that Hindu society has, to the pan-Arabism of Islamic mind. Each have done so for its own unjustifiable self-interest. As my relations would say, Bangladeshi Hindus, with their Buddhist and Christian cousins, would be a new sacrificial lamb of the 20th century. The most important allies of the Hindu minorities have been their extreme devotion to the land of their ancestors and their evolution from the local soil. A small number of marginalized, nationalistic, secular Muslims would always remain to be steadfastly loyal, at times putting their own lives in jeopardy. Local Hindus and their Muslim allies call the defeating silence of the victimized Hindu community a disease of the Hindu mind. Interesting. Local Hindus and their Muslim allies call the defeating silence of the victimized Hindu community a disease of the Hindu mind. It is a state of mind created through an outgrowth of caste racism, mind numbing fatalism, the effect of karma, not having a sense of past history as Hindus, worship nature, mythical gods and goddesses, and a mind that has no sense of shared camaraderie on one hand, and the extreme cowardice brought by the fatalism on the other. Ironically, Bengali Hindus worship militant demon killing goddess. Now, this is very interesting. Bengali Hindus worship militant demon killing goddess Ma Durga and Ma Kali, and the Bengali and other Hindus read Holy Bhagavad Gita, yet do not realize that Mother Goddess and Holy Gita not only preach love and peace but also militant self defense. Where is the self defense of the Bengali Hindus in East Bengal, also in West Bengal? People would often ask me, is it the Hindus' belief in fate that one does not protest the killing of one's own parents or parents of their children? Or is it the belief in karma that an abused does not protest one's own abuser? Or look at the other way, when someone else is being tormented. People often ask why other animals defend their offspring, their nests, yet not the people who call themselves Hindus. Strong words. Even a dove defends her nest, a deer its fawn, yet no Hindu cries for his home or their children. As I have traveled through the torched villages, through destroyed temples, ashrams, cremation grounds, shops, and businesses, the victims themselves have asked me the same question again and again. I wonder if this is why, in the Middle Ages, rose Sri Chaitanya in one end of India with the message of love, insistent pacifism, and caste gender liberation, and on the other end rose Guru Nanak preaching love and militant defense of tradition and more. Interesting. Fast population growth yet vanishing minorities. In 1987, Bangladesh government of President Lieutenant General Hussein Mohammad Irshad received the United Nations Award for Population Control. This award recognizes major effort by various nations towards lowering of population growth. An estimate of future population growth, especially in countries like Bangladesh, must not only take into account the reproductive capacity of the population but also the following factors of population change: the the huge out migration of Bangladeshi Hindus, along with their small minority of Christian and Buddhist cousins, deaths, deaths due to wars and natural calamities, and out migration of job seekers around the world. This study covers the period since 1947, when Bengal and India were partitioned, when significant population shift began. In reality, Hindu migration started in a big way after the large scale killing of Hindus during the anti Hindu Noakhali Danga or Noakhali pogrom in 1946 during the British rule. So, the migration of Bengali Hindus from erstwhile United Bengal started in 1946 itself, a few months before actual vivisection. This study uses census figures of 1941 2001. Since independence of Bangladesh, four censuses have been done. 1974, 1981, 1991, and 2001. Many of the population data, particularly that of cross-border Hindu and especially Muslim migration, is hard to come by and is complicated by migration of persecuted Hindus of the and of benefiting Muslim majority. This estimate has tried to depend on government data as far as possible. In using migration data of Bengali Muslims, one has to be extremely cautious because of political sensitivity. In India, public policy decisions has become more complicated. For instance, in Assam, the Assamese speaking population's demand for ouster of Bangladeshi has led to violence against indigenous Bengalis. Now, it is very important. I have heard from a lot of people who live in Bengal, who live in Assam, who are Bengali speaking, and they also talk about the persecution of Bengali speaking people. Now, why this happened? So there is a historical data to this. So the Assamese speaking population demand for ouster of Bangladeshi Muslims who speak Bengali led to violence against indigenous Bengalis, mostly Hindu, and against many other indigenous non-Assamese speaking population. So there is a complex history to this. The rise of Assamese nationalism have given way to creation of new non-Assamese states which were carved out of Assam, Nagaland, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Arunachal Pradesh. In present-day Assam, the Assamese speakers are a minority, but it is politically incorrect to mention this. Assamese are also seeking expulsion of non-native colonizing Bangladeshi, mostly Muslims. At times, Assam neighbors are attacking others who may have migrated from another Assam district. There have These have resulted in ghastly killings, pitting one group against another. For a short period in the early 1900s, Assam and East Bengal were fused together as one province by the British administration. In Tripura, we are also witnessing a complicated identity dynamics. Some of the local people who used to call themselves Bengali tribe have redefined themselves as non-Bengali, and a small number of recently Christianized individuals have embarked on changing the traditional Eastern Indian script into English one. Some in this group has been killing indigenous Hindus and destroying deities and festivities of the followers of traditional Tripura Hindu faith. Bangladesh government has consistently denied that there is any single Bangladeshi in India. This statement is very important. Bangladesh government has consistently denied that there is any single Bangladeshi in India. As a result of this political complication, one has to depend on government data. Documentation of migration is one thing, but the documentation of outright killing of Hindus is extremely complicated, stressful, and difficult on the face of denial by the majority of the elites of Bangladesh, exclusively Muslim, and by the elites of Indian states of West Bengal, Tripura, mostly atheist Bangladeshi Hindu origin, by the Muslim rulers of Pakistan, by the Western, Eastern, Indian, and West Bengali media in their absence of journalistic reports. There is almost no parallel in modern history that compares with the disappearance of Bangladeshi minorities from their homeland. During early years of partition of India, some northern Indian Muslims migrated to Pakistan, and Pakistani Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Christians, and Buddhists were forced to flee to India. However, sustained forced migration from Bangladesh, East Pakistan, for over half a century has unquestionably dwarfed that migration, significant nonetheless. Okay, so we're going to do one more podcast in about 11 p.m. So now, if somebody wants to join and share their thoughts and opinions on this book, please come and join. So then we can discuss, because we have one more book. This book, Ekusher Myth, Joy Bangla Mytha. So people know today is the uh, Mother Tongue Day, or the Language Day, to 21st of February. So to discuss that topic, where the Bengali language is the primary focus of this, we're going to do a Bengali podcast on this book written by Mr. Kaushik Gangopadhyay, and we'll find out this mother tongue, or language day, International Language Day, how it stands out in terms of data and narratives, and how true or false it is. So people who want to join, the link is there in the community post, in the members only post. You can come and discuss with us. And till then, I will wait, and I will also share the book's link as well, where you can find this book. We will try to read this book full. We'll try to read important parts of the book itself in the coming podcast that we have planned. So now let me share the link of the book. So this is the book that I was reading, Bengal's Hindu Holocaust, Partition of India and its Aftermath. So this is available in Kindle edition as well. You can also get the physical version. Let me actually check, tell you where you will get the. I think it's from Garuda publication, so it would be, yes, from Garuda. Let me also share the Garuda link as well. This is the Kindle version. People who prefer Kindle versions, and so, and this is Garuda Life. Let me pin these links for you. So this is the Garuda link. I'm going to pin this link as well. So this is, you can. So okay, now I don't think people are here. So what you do is, let's take a few comments then, if people want to come and join. So we have here. Okay, so this is a comment. However, I believe that anyone who does not acknowledge that Modi's 2047 plan is just empty talk is supporter of the BJP. You have your own, we have your own. So have you talked the data? So why don't you do the data analysis? So post 2014, the development agenda of BJP governments, how they have transformed the infrastructure, the delivery, the banking sector, the trains are there, the airports are being built, industry being built. Now you have the AI summit. So isn't this the part of the developed India 2047 agenda of BJP government? How can you deny it? Hmm. Yeah, we have taken this comment with Didi as well. In Punjab, the Punjabi supremacist mindset on the both sides helped a lot of population exchange. Interesting topic. Didi has her own channel, and she is quite well read in terms of partition in Punjab region. The number of Hindus in Pakistan and Bangladesh has indeed decreased significantly. Absolutely correct. And that's why this book is important, because nobody is documenting this book enough. Okay. But I do not believe Hindutva is conductive to India's long term development. It will only divide the people. Why? If you are there, why it is you think it is the case? Yes, Jyoti Basu, the infamous act of ethnic cleansing of the Nomoshudros, especially in the Morid Jhapi massacre which took place. So he was the primary person on that. Okay, I don't see any other comments coming in. So what we'll do is we'll finish our reading session. Okay. Hindutva is the way of the future. Whose future? Is it the future of India or Bharat? Because India and Bharat are both are different entities. India is the elites, the brown sahib elites, and Bharat is the nation of the natives. But very interesting. So at 11 p.m., we will again be back to discuss this specific book. So as we know, today is the Mother Language Day, and Bangladesh Bangladesh was the primary reason behind 21st of February. What happened, and is it a deception that the independence of Bangladesh was reason behind Bengal language, or is there something else? So this Bengali podcast will be happening there at 11 p.m. Till then, thank you everybody for joining, for listening to us. Do support the channel by becoming members, by subscribing, by sharing, and we look forward to you joining us again in the Bengali podcast at 11 p.m. And tomorrow also we have a very interesting podcast coming in. We have three podcasts scheduled with book readings, discussions, political discussions. So thank you very much. Namaste, Jai Shri Ram, Vande Mataram.